Stonebridge Ventures, which was blacklisted 2 years ago by the UK's FCA and Canadian financial regulatory authorities, is making a secret comeback. The website, stonebridgeventures.net, has just been relaunched in 2026 with the landing page currently under construction. This forensic evidence reveals how the stonebridgeventures.net scam is resurfacing, utilizing sophisticated web infrastructure from reputable companies such as Google and Squarespace. To bypass scam filters, reset its fraudulent history, and relaunch with a clean slate, we've identified it as part of the AK Group alongside the following entities. The Stonebridge Ventures Group is using a tactic known as domain cycling to restart a scam that was flagged by the FCA in 2024. On April 23, 2024, the UK's financial services regulator added Stonebridge Ventures to its warning list of unauthorized firms, urging investors to avoid it. Despite these long-standing warnings, domain history records show that the current stonebridgeventures.net domain was created only recently, on April 16, 2026. This creates a confusing paradox. On one hand, Google search results return years of regulatory warnings against this domain from top-tier financial services regulators. On the other hand, domain history records show that this domain is only a few days old. This discrepancy is the hallmark of domain cycling and proves that stonebridgeventures.net is a resurfacing scam. But here is what you need to know. When a domain expires and is not renewed, it eventually returns to the open market. In the case of stonebridgeventures.net, the scammers or a new cell of the same group likely repurchased this domain. As a result, the domain's public history reset to the new registration date, effectively masking its past activity. This is why records show it as brand new, even though the domain has a history of fraud. But why would scammers reactivate a domain that is already flagged by several financial services regulators? There are several strategic reasons. Number 1. A newly registered domain usually gets crawled slowly. Scammers hate this because it slows down their outreach, which is why they recycle domains. Number 2. Perceived credibility. Scammers who have recycled an older domain can tell victims, "We have been around for a long time. Look at the old news articles about us." They rely on the fact that most victims won't notice those articles are actually warnings, not endorsements. Number 3. Infrastructure recycling is cheaper. They already have the logos, fake charts, and marketing materials for Stonebridge Ventures. Rebuying the domain is cheaper than rebranding. Here's what you need to know. When a domain goes through its full expiration cycle and is dropped back into the public pool, it essentially becomes a blank slate in the eyes of domain registries. But scammers don't actually seem so smart, using the domain cycling tactic. While registry records automatically reset after a domain has expired, search engine crawlers and security filters operate on a different logic. They don't always forget the past as easily as the registry does. For example, while Google's search index is built on historical data, if a site has been offline for a while, Google usually assumes that the domain has been abandoned. Thus it wipes any associated SEO rankings. Even so, old URLs' residual data can still appear in search results for some time. If the new site's URLs look similar to the previous one, which is always the case when a domain is reused, Google may keep an untrustworthy label attached to the reactivated domain. On the forensic and technical side of things, we analyzed the website's SSL/ELS certificate to find the real server hosting stonebridgeventures.net, using our own proprietary techniques. We extracted the certificate fingerprint of stonebridgeventures.net, uncovering a unique cryptographic identifier. Upon analyzing this unique identifier, we found that the actual server of stonebridgeventures.net is owned by Squarespace, a website building platform that lets individuals and businesses create and manage websites without needing to code. The stonebridgeventures.net domain is currently being hosted on Squarespace's infrastructure. This confirms the site is currently parked or being built on Squarespace's infrastructure, hence the "We're under construction." Please check back for an update soon message on the stonebridgeventures.net homepage. While thousands of sites use this IP, the fact that this domain is live on it means we can now monitor it for content changes and track any shifts in the underlying hosting environment as the site moves toward full deployment. Conclusion: Our analysis concludes that StonebridgeVentures.net is a resurfacing scam that investors must avoid. This unbiased review serves as a warning that this entity is a recycled scam operation using enterprise-grade infrastructure to mask its fraudulent past and prepare for a new wave of activity. Stonebridge Ventures is an industrial-scale operation designed for resilience and longevity, masking a fraudulent core behind enterprise-grade infrastructure. Extreme caution is advised. Any interaction with it will likely lead to total loss of funds. If you have been targeted, you should immediately report the incident through our official report page, which can be accessed by clicking on the link below this video.